Welcome back to the Pick Six Podcast Show. CBS Sports HQ. Breach, Brady. I'm Brian if you want. All right, let's talk a little NFC East. And let's start, Breach, with three guys that you think on any team of your choice in the NFC East that could be the difference makers this year, 2022, for their respective teams. So you got?
Well, if I'm picking my favorite offensive trio, Wilson, I have to go with the Cowboys because I think Dak Prescott is hands down the best quarterback in the division. I remember all the debates everyone was having in 2017 about is Dak Prescott or is it Carson Wentz? Who's the better quarterback? Now that debate's almost laughable because it just feels like Dak Prescott is head and shoulders above any other quarterback in the division, even though Carson Wentz is now back in the division. But as for the two guys, the trio there, I'm going to take Dak. I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to take Michael Gallup. I don't need a running back with the Cowboys. Forget running the ball, Dallas. Let Dak cook. Let him throw the ball. We saw what he did last season, 37 touchdowns and just 10 interceptions. Get him in the kitchen. Throw the ball more. Stop relying so much on the run game. I think the Cowboys' offense has a lot of firepower. Obviously Michael Gallup got injured at the end of the season. And if he's back on the field healthy in week one, I think Prescott, Lamb, and Gallup could put up some huge numbers in 2022.
The most fascinating one to me is in Philly. I think Jalen Hurts now surrounded by Devontae Smith on one side, A.J. Brown to the other. I will take that all day long. Hurts has continually gotten better as a passer from the pocket. It helps a little bit, too, when you've got a guy like A.J. Brown who can get you a ton of yards after the catch. And you add that to one of the best route runners, one of the best rookies that we saw last year, Devontae Smith. I think you're going to have a nice tandem for him, not only to help him improve, but maybe take one of those big jumps, something close to a Josh Allen type jump in Buffalo once he got Stephon Diggs. Maybe we see that sort of jump with a guy like A.J. Brown. He's big and physical enough to provide you with a bunch of different things he can do within the offense. And then Devontae Smith, who's a big playmaking machine, not to mention Jalen Hurts just taking off and running when he can too. So to me, I'm most intrigued by that. I think Dallas, you kind of know what you're going to get. Wentz, we'll see what happens there. Ryan, I feel like you're going to lean more towards Washington right now.
It's like we're mind meshing again, Brady. You're exactly right. Look, I'll be honest. I don't feel great about this. I know that Breach was going to go with Dallas. You were a wild card, Brady, but I was pretty sure you were going to go with Washington. So I took one for the team there. So they have Jahan Dotson. Love him. Great hands, undersized, but he can get open. They have Terry McLaurin, who wants to get paid this year, and deservedly so. We'll see how that works out in terms of their contract. And there he is, Ronald McDonald, Carson Wentz. I went with him as well. He needs to have a huge bounce-back season. There's no two ways about it. He has struggled in Indy. He struggled previously towards the end of his career in Philadelphia. And now, third time's a charm. Fingers crossed, you hope, if you're Ron Rivera. It hasn't gone well for him in recent years, but maybe he can find something close to that form of what we saw in 2017 before the injury, or 2018 when he came back. And this team has a chance to compete because the division, if we're being honest, isn't great. It's certainly better than it was 3 months ago before the start of free agency. But I'll roll with those guys. But Brady, I think you're exactly right about Philadelphia. I give Howie Roseman a lot of credit. They were on and off in terms of drafting wide receivers in the first and second round. So instead of rolling the dice there, they went and got A.J. Brown. They know what they have in him. And to your point about Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, that's going to be Jalen Hurts' time to shine. He's almost going to be out of excuses, perhaps similarly to what's going to happen in Miami with Tua. But that's where I'm at. I'm all in quotation marks, on Washington. But we'll see, right? We'll find out together. All right. Brady, I'm going to come back to you. We'll talk about the Cowboys. And it seems like, 20 minutes after McCarthy got hired in Dallas, he was already in the hot seat. He did not help himself last year in the playoffs with that quarterback sneak that as time ran out and sort of torpedoed their chances. What has to happen for the Cowboys, for people like Breach, not so much me, but people like Breach, to quit panning Mike McCarthy in terms of his job being in jeopardy?
A Super Bowl. I mean, it's that simple. It's a Super Bowl. There's nothing else that's going to paint the Dallas Cowboys in the light that I think everyone pictures them in, and the hiring of Mike McCarthy and everything else. It's a Super Bowl. They've got to win one. They have it in, it feels like, forever, or at least the past, few decades. So that, and here's the hard part about the Dallas Cowboys this offseason. You wish a lot of the news was maybe about some of the acquisitions they've made or the draft picks and this and that. It's really been more about Jerry Jones. It's some stuff that he's been, I guess, rumored of or alleged of, and things he's been saying, trying to show everyone his draft board and whatever the crazy stuff he's doing. I mean, that's a problem. Like, if you identify your team with the owner, Jerry Jones, and not their brand of football on the field, that's a problem. That's the Dallas Cowboys for you, 2022. So, look, I'm sure they'll end up being a playoff team, in part because they play in a bad division in the NFC East. But the truth of the matter is, I don't have high hopes for them. I really don't. I just think right now, when you look at how they're run and what the focus is always on Dallas, it's on Jerry Jones. And it should be about the Troy Aikmans, the Michael Irvins, the Emmitt Smiths, like all the great players that they used to have back when they were winning. Back then, it wasn't focused on the ownership. It wasn't focused even on the head coach to a degree. It was about the players and the stars. It's not about that anymore. It feels like it's all about Jerry's world. We're all living in it.
Well, speaking of the owner, I'm glad Brady Quinn doesn't own the team because he's ready to fire Mike McCarthy if he doesn't win a Super Bowl. I am going to go slightly easier on McCarthy. I'm not going to say that Super Bowl is make or break. I'm going to go one step lower with an NFC championship. I think that is going to be the only way that we're not talking about him being on the hot seat after 2022. Brady mentioned that last Super Bowl win. That was 1995. That was also the last time they were in an NFC title game. They're one of just 3 teams in the NFC that has not been to a conference championship game since 2000, and that is a pretty ugly drought. So if Mike McCarthy doesn't want to listen to hours and hours of nonstop sports talk about Sean Payton maybe taking over the Cowboys job, then he needs to get to at least the NFC title game. If you go 8-9, 7-10, if you have a losing record, that's all anyone's going to talk about. If you get to the playoffs but lose your first game, that's all anyone's going to talk about. So the only way you're going to stave this off for at least one more season, I think, is to at least get to the conference title game.
You're saying get to it, not even win one. Because
no, not even win it. Just
you said win the conference. I'm like, does that make a difference from going to a Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl?
I already lowered the bar, Brady. I lowered the bar already. Just get there.
You see? You're already trying to help him out. I mean, let's not forget this too, Ryan. Remember when Dan Quinn was a hot head coaching candidate? People were like, oh, maybe they're going to move off Mike McCarthy to keep Dan Quinn so he doesn't leave. And then Sean Payton left the Saints, and everyone's like, ooh, we know how much Jerry Jones loves bringing back those offensive minds. I mean, I could see Sean Payton sitting out for a year doing TV in L.A., drinking a bunch of cocktails out there and kicking his feet up, and then getting that Dallas Cowboys job if things don't go well this season. So I'm telling you right now, as we know, it's Super Bowl to me or bust. And in part because they made it to the playoffs, they won the division last year. Yet when you see how they lose under Mike McCarthy, it is just mind-boggling. I mean, I still haven't gotten over that play call at the end of the game.
No, you're right, Brady. 2 things. Breach, for some reason, has this weird soft spot for the Cowboys, so that's something. And let me check notes here. Show everyone your draft board. I'm not sure if that's a euphemism, but here we go. Who's your pick to win the NFC East? Brady, let's go to you. You just said the Cowboys are terrible. Who you taking?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys to win the division, though, in part because I don't think the division's very good. I mean, so, yeah, they can win the division. I don't know that that's saying a whole lot. I think I'm most interested in Philly just to see if they can, follow up a second season. But I'll take the Cowboys at this point. I mean, I feel much better about what they are, but I think Philly's nipping on their heels.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Brady. Being the best in the NFC East, that's like me walking into a first grade class and being excited I'm the tallest person. It's like you don't get a lot of credit for that. I think that the Cowboys, look, they won the division by 3 games last season over the Eagles, a lot more games over Washington, the Giants. All 3 of those teams have gotten better, but I don't know that they have closed that gap just yet, so I feel like the Cowboys are the pick here.
To a first grade classroom and be the tallest person there? Because I don't know. I've seen you in person and I've seen first graders. I got a lot of questions. That said, I'm going to go. By the way, Breach, one time Brady Quinn thought I was 6'1". Can you believe that? How good did that make me feel? Not even the hair, no afro like Fletch there. Yeah, I'll take it all day long. Proportions, baby. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys are, for some reason, jumping on as much as you can that Cowboys bandwagon. I do not trust Mike McCarthy for anything, anywhere, ever. I think Nick Sirianni got better as the season progressed, found out ways to use Jalen Hurts properly. Jalen Hurts now has the weapons. The defense is going to be better. And as we've just sort of figured out, it's not a very good division. So I'm going to go Philadelphia Eagles. I have some faith in them, more so than the other teams in that division. And I think they have a good chance. Plus money, too, plus 250.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.